Welcome to Cozy Dream Tale, where our stories weave a tapestry of dreams and tranquility. Tonight, we begin a magical journey with Chapter 1 and the Enchanted Christmas Tree Farm. As you settle in, let the hustle of the day melt away and prepare to be transported into a world brimming with wonder and serenity. Imagine a cozy apartment in a bustling city, a sanctuary of calm and order. This is where we meet Emma, our protagonist, whose life is about to take an unexpected turn with the arrival of an old, mysterious letter. As Emma embarks on a journey to discover the enchanted Christmas tree farm, a place far removed from her structured city life, reminders her. Picture the vibrant autumn leaves, the crisp country air, and the sprawling countryside opening up to welcome her anew. As you listen, let the story envelop you in a blanket of comfort and curiosity. Feel the gentle rustle of the leaves, the distant whisper of the wind, and the soft crackling of the fireplace in Emma's world. With each word, drift further into relaxation, your thoughts as calm as the starlit night sky. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let the tale of the enchanted Christmas tree farm guide you into a night of peaceful, restful sleep. Good night, and may your dreams be filled with the enchanting magic of this story. Chapter 1: A Hidden Legacy. In the heart of a bustling city, amidst the symphony of urban life, there existed an oasis of calm in the small, cozy apartment of Emma. Her world, much like her spirit, was filled with order and simplicity. The only daughter of a librarian and a historian, Emma grew up surrounded by the quiet embrace of books and the whispers of the past. However, life, as it often does, had a surprise waiting for her. It was a crisp autumn morning when the letter arrived, disrupting the usual rhythm of her day. Emma, with her auburn hair neatly tied and glasses perched on her nose, examined the envelope with curiosity. It was old, the paper yellowed with age, and sealed with an elaborate wax stamp that bore the image of an evergreen tree. Inside, she found the last will and testament of her relative. She never knew she had, her great-aunt Clara. The letter spoke of an inheritance, the property far from the city's hustle, nestled in a place where the skies were clear and stars and the recent reach. It was the Enchanted Christmas Tree Farm, a name that intrigued and baffled her. Emma had always lived her life firmly rooted in reality, far from the realms of fairy tales and magic. But the letter, with its aged parchment and flowing script, seemed to whisper of a world beyond her understanding. It beckoned her to a journey that promised to unveil secrets of her family she never knew existed. The idea of leaving her structured life for an uncertain adventure was daunting. Yet, as Emma sat by her window, watching the golden leaves fall, a sense of wonder slowly overcame her apprehension. There was a mystery wrapped in that letter, a piece of her heritage calling out to her. With a decision that surprised even herself, Emma chose to embark on this unexpected journey. She packed her essentials, locked her apartment, and set off towards a destination unknown. guided only by the sterling words of the letter. As the city's familiar skyline faded into the distance, replaced by the sprawling countryside, Emma felt a change within her. The air seemed fresher, filled with the scent of pine and earth, and the sky a canvas of ever-changing hues. She was venturing into a world that was entirely new, yet strangely familiar. As if it were a forgotten dream she was now beginning to remember. The road twisted and turned, leading her through quaint towns and sleepy hamlets, until she found herself on a narrow path bordered by towering trees. They stood like sentinels, their branches swaying gently in the autumn breeze, as if welcoming her to a realm that was timeless. And there, at the end of the path, shrouded in the midst of early dawn, was the Enchanted Christmas tree farm. It was more beautiful than she had imagined. A landscape painted with every shade of green and gold, under a sky that was a deep, endless blue. As Emmy stepped out of her car, the ground beneath her feet felt alive, pulsating with a rhythm that resonated with her heartbeat. She looked around, her eyes taking in the expanse of the farm, feeling a sense of belonging that she had never felt before. In that moment, under the watchful gaze of the ancient trees, Emma realized that her journey was not just towards a place, but towards a discovery of herself and the hidden legacy that awaited her in the heart of Christmas. The road that led to the Enchanted Christmas tree farm wound through landscapes that seemed untouched by time. Emma's car meandered past fields dotted with wild flowers, their colors in vivid contrast against the dull gray of the asphalt. The journey, long and solitary, gave her ample time to reflect on the decision that had brought her here. Emma, who had always found comfort in the predictable rhythms of city life, now found herself plunged into an adventure stirred out of one of her beloved storybooks. The deeper into the countryside she drove, the more the modern world seemed to fall away, replaced by a timeless tranquility. Rolling hills stretched into the distance, blanketed in a tapestry of autumn hues. Occasionally, she would pass her small villages where life seemed to move at a leisurely pace, each quaint house and shop telling its own silent story. As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the land, Emma felt a growing sense of apprehension. What awaited her at this mysterious farm? Would it be the crumbling remains of a forgotten place, or something more, something that could unravel the threads of her well-ordered life? Finally, as twilight began to settle over the landscape, she reached the outskirts of the farm. The trees here were older, grander, the branches reaching skyward like ancient guardians. A soft breeze rustled through their leaves, carrying with it a faint, almost musical sound, as if the forest itself was whispering. The farm itself was nestled in a clearing, surrounded by a natural amphitheater of trees. It was not the derelict relic she had half exploited, but a charming, well-maintained property. The main house, a cozy cottage built of timber and stone, sat comfortably in its surroundings. as if it had grown organically from the earth itself. Nearby, a barn and several outbuildings completed the pastoral scene, their woodwork painted a cheerful red. Despite the beauty of the place, Anna felt an undercurrent of unease. The farm was deserted, or so it seemed. There were no signs of life, no light in the windows, no smoke from the chimney. It was as if the farm was waiting, holding its breath for her arrival. With a mixture of trepidation and curiosity, Emma stepped out of her car. The air was crisp, scented with pine and the earthy aroma of fallen leaves. The silence of the farm was profound, broken only by the occasional creak of a tree branch or the distant call of an owl. She approached the front door of the cottage, her footsteps crunching on the gravel path. The door itself was adorned with an intricate carving of an evergreen tree, its branches laden with what appeared to be symbols and runes. It was both beautiful and enigmatic, much like the farm itself. With a hesitant hand, Emma turned the knob and pushed the door open. The interior of the cottage was bathed in the golden light, a setting sun, which streamed through the windows, casting warm, dancing patterns on the wooden floor. The cottage was furnished simply but comfortably, with a large fireplace dominating one wall. Above the mantel hung a portrait of a woman, her eyes twinkling with a mischievous light. Emma felt an immediate connection to the woman in the portrait, a sense of familiarity that was both comforting and disconcerting. This, she realized, must be Clara, her great-aunt, the previous guardian of this magical place. As she stood there, absorbing the essence of the room, Emma felt the last remnants of her city life slipping away. She was no longer just Emma, the ordinary librarian from the city. She had stepped into a larger story, one that spanned generations and whispered of magic and mystery. The farm, with its ancient trees and hidden secrets, had begun to cast its spell on her. Emma spent her first night at the Enchanted Christmas tree farm wrapped in a cocoon of silence, the kind that only the countryside can offer. The cottage, cozy and warm, seemed to embrace her in a welcoming hug. She found herself drifting into sleep, lulled by the gentle crackling of the fireplace, soft rustling of the trees outside. The next morning greeted Anna with the sky painted in pastel hues of dawn. She stepped outside, her breath visible in the crisp morning air. The farm, under the light of day, revealed itself in full glory. Rows of Christmas trees stood in perfect lines, their branches heavy with the dew of the night, glistening like a million tiny diamonds in the rising sun. Emma walked among the trees, her hands brushing against the needles, each tree humming with a vitality that she could feel pulsing through the air. The trees, varied in size and shape, some tall and slender, others short and stout, each one unique and beautiful. As she ventured deeper into the farm, she came upon a clearing, at the center of which stood a magnificent tree. It towered above the rest, its branches wide and strong, and its needles shimmered with an ethereal glow. Emma felt drawn to it, as if it held an ancient wisdom that called out to her. She reached out, her fingers barely touching the bark, and in that moment, a rush of images flooded her mind. She saw seasons changing, witnessed years passing by, and felt the joy of countless families who had come to the farm to find their perfect Christmas tree. It was as if the tree was sharing its memories with her, a silent witness to the years that had rolled by. Startled by the intensity of the experience, Emma withdrew her hand. The flood of images ceased, but a deep sense of connection remained. She realized that this farm, these trees, were not just plants growing in the soil. They were alive, whispering stories of the past and perhaps secrets of her own heritage. Press the dial rest. She found a small, overgrown garden that once must have been filled with flowers and herbs. The greenhouse stood nearby, its grass panes broken, yet it held the promise of new life. There were tools in the shed, rusted, but still usable, and a stack of old books in the barn. Pages with each. Each discovery told a story, a piece of the puzzle that was her greater Clara's life. Emma felt a growing sense of purpose, a desire to restore the farm to its former glory, to reconnect with a legacy left behind by a woman she had never met. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Emma stood amidst the trees. She felt a deep sense of peace, a feeling that she was exactly where she was meant to be. The farm, with its ancient trees and hidden stories, had welcomed her home. That night, as she sat by the fire, reading one of the old books she had found, Emma felt a connection to her Aunt Clara. A book, a collection of folklore and tales about trees and nature, seemed to echo Clara's voice, guiding her on her new journey. In the quiet of the cottage, with the night embracing the farm outside, Emma realized that her life had taken a turn towards something extraordinary. She had embarked on a journey, not just of discovery, but of self-realization. The Enchanted Christmas Tree Farm, with its mystical aura and whispered secrets, was not just a place on a map. It was a gateway to a world that was next to The following day dawned bright and clear, with the sun casting a golden glow over the farm. Emma, filled with a newfound sense of curiosity and determination, decided to explore the woods surrounding the property. These woods, she felt, were an integral part of the farm's mystery and perhaps held clues to understanding her great Clara's legacy. She set out just after breakfast, the cool morning air fresh against her skin. The woods were dense, a tapestry of greens and browns as sunlight formed the leaves, creating patterns of light and shadow in the forest. The trees stood tall and proud, their branches swaying gently in the breeze, as if they were whispering to each other in a language only they understood. As Emma walked, she noticed that the woods seemed to have a rhythm of their own, a natural harmony that resonated deep within her. The birds sang from the treetops, their melodies a symphony that celebrated the beauty of the morning. Squirrels scampered across the forest floor, playfully chasing one another, their antics bringing a smile to Emma's face. Deeper into the woods, she came across a small brook, its waters crystal clear, babbling over smooth stones. The sound of the water was soothing, a gentle lullaby that seemed to speak of ancient times and secrets long kept. Emma found a fallen log near the brook and sat down, allowing the peace of the woods to envelop her. In the stillness of the woods, Emma felt a deep connection to the earth and the life it nurtured. She closed her eyes, listening to the sounds of the forest, feeling the gentle breeze on her face. In these quiet moments, she felt as if she were part of something much larger than herself, a part of the timeless dance of nature. As she sat there, lost in thought, a sudden movement caught her eye. A deer, graceful and elegant, emerged from the trees, pausing to drink from the brook. Emma watched in awe, her breath caught in her throat at the sight of such a majestic creature. The deer seemed unafraid, its eyes meeting Emma's with a calm, knowing gaze. For a moment, time seemed to stand still, the two of them sharing a silent communion. Then, as quietly as it had appeared, the deer slipped back into the woods, leaving Emma with a sense of wonder and a feeling that she had just witnessed something magical. She realized then that the woods were not just a backdrop to the farm, but a living, breathing part of its essence. Filled with a sense of peace and belonging, Emma made her way back to the cottage. The experience in the woods had given her a deeper appreciation for the farm and its surroundings. She understood now that her great aunt Clara had not just left her a piece of land, but a sanctuary, a place where the magic of nature was alive. That evening, as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Emma sat on the porch of the cottage, her heart full of gratitude. The farm, with its whispering woods and enchanting trees, had welcomed her into its fold, offering her a chance to be a part of something truly extraordinary. She felt a sense of excitement for the days to come, eager to uncover more of its secrets and to continue the legacy that her great aunt Clara had entrusted to her. The next day brought with it a gentle mist that hung over the farm like a delicate veil. Emma woke up early, feeling a sense of anticipation. Today, she would explore the cottage and perhaps find more clues about the enchanting world she had stepped into. As she moved through the rooms, Emma felt the presence of her great aunt Clara, as if the walls themselves held memories of her. The cottage was a treasure trove of artifacts and books, each object telling a story, each book a gateway to knowledge long forgotten. In the study, Emma found a collection of old journals, their pages filled with Clara's elegant handwriting. She settled into an armchair, the leather worn and comfortable, and began to read. The journal spoke of a life deeply connected to the natural world, of a woman who understood and respected the magic of the earth. Clara wrote of the farm, not just as a place of business, but as a sanctuary for her life. She spoke of the trees with reverence, describing them as ancient beings with wisdom to share. Emma read about the solstices and the Hrinokirkis, the celebrations held at the farm, where people from nearby villages would come to honor the changing of the seasons. One entry, in particular, caught Emma's attention. Clara had written about a special tree, the oldest on the farm, known as the Heart of the Grove. This tree, she wrote, was the source of the flame's magic. Its life force connected to every living thing on the property. Clara believed that the tree had chosen her as its guardian, and that one day it would choose another. Emma felt a shiver run down her spine. She had felt a connection to the tree, a pull that was more than just curiosity. Could it be that she was the one Clara had spoken of, the next guardian of the heart of the grove? With a sense of purpose, Emma closed the journal and headed outside. A mist had lifted, leaving the air fresh and clear. She walked towards the grove, each step taking her closer to the heart of the farm's mystery. The heart of the grove stood majestic and serene, its branches reaching towards the sky. Emma approached it with a sense of reverence, her heart beating in sync with the pulse of the tree. She placed her hand on the bark, feeling its rough texture, and closed her eyes. This time, the visions were clearer, more vivid. She saw the farm through the seasons, through years and decades. She saw laughter and joy, tears and sorrow, all woven into the fabric of the place. The tree shared its memories with her, showing her the beauty and wonder of the natural world. When Emma opened her eyes, she knew what she had to do. She was the chosen guardian, the one to carry on Clara's legacy. It was a responsibility she never expected, but one she accepted with a sense of honor and awe. As the sun began to set, casting a golden light over the farm, Emma felt a deep sense of peace. She had found her place in the world, a place where magic was real and nature spoke in a language only if you could understand. That night, as she lay in bed, Emma realized that her journey was just beginning. The farm with its enchanted trees and whispering woods had many more secrets to reveal. And she, Emma, was ready to discover them, to embrace her role as the guardian of this magical place.